Hello folks, so I quickly want to share some key aspects that are related to the system design interview. So in summary, the system design interview is your chance to showcase your design skills and experience in designing systems that are hosted on Azure or any cloud platform. So this interview gives the interviewer an opportunity to understand your ability to understand a problem statement and then able to come up with a solution in terms of the design aspects of it, the requirements aspects of it, as well as some other elements into the solutioning process as well. I will run through a couple of key points for you to consider when you're preparing for the design interview. So if you see, these are commonly used questions in the design. Like they will ask you to design a short messaging system, or they will ask you to design a large scale public video portal site, or they will ask you to design a URL shortening service, or they will ask you to design a social photo sharing application. There will be multiple things, but these 4 things seem to be commonly asked across. But there are a couple of things you should remember when you're preparing for the Azure system design interview. First and foremost is these questions would be usually vague and unstructured. So, but the idea is for the candidate to work on an open design problem, and that may not have a standard solution, right? Most of the custom solutions are like that. The second one is it's also an opportunity for the interviewer to know your experience on building large-scale systems, and also the key aspect, they also look into your communication skills as well as the communication approach. That's also very key as an architect. And please note, there are no correct or incorrect solutions. Let's not get into this whole thing about, hey, this solution is correct or not, but every solution has its pros and cons. But that's not the point of this interviews. So there are key things you should focus when you're preparing for the or attending the system design interview. The first and foremost is ask qualifying questions to define the scope of the problem. For example, what type of anticipated users would be using the system? Do we have any specific video or messaging format? What are the timelines? So these things will help you to, I would say, crystallize the requirement or the specification so that you're able to come up with the ideal solution pattern. And also make sure when you speak to your interviewer, make sure to keep it short and concise so that you're able to work on the final solution. One thing you should also do beforehand is you should be able to have practice the estimation skills. For example, what is the storage requirement? What type of identity we used? Practice this beforehand so that on the interviews, because these things are generic, so you can pretty much have some sort of a estimation process. You might easier things for you. And also data model. What type of data model? Depending on the data source, you might be using NoSQL, SQL, or basically semi-structured stores. You need to have very good database structures as well. And also the main thing about building these solutions would be there will be like potential mitigation strategies and bottlenecks. For example, what are the single points of failure in a system? How do you distribute data in multiple regions for high resiliency and availability? How do you build a cache system? I think if we keep these things in focus, you should be able to attend a system design interview successfully. Thank you and good luck.